Welcome to First Amendment Auditing Urban Legends Part 3. In this case, we're going to talk about call floods. Call floods do not work. They do not work for a very specific reason, and that very specific reason is the police aren't elected. If you do a call flood to a police department, you're going to get somebody who is on the front desk, as Jeff Gray demonstrates here on January 30th of 2013 with his call flood in action video. He wastes about 8 minutes of the time of 8 minutes of his time, plus 8 minutes of the time of a couple, I think 3 administrative persons at the police department or a call center that services the police department. He does not accomplish anything. His issue was with the police officer and the actions of the police officer, and not with the actions of those people in the administrative positions. Now, let's assume that Jeff did manage to get good because he was almost given the number for the chief of police when the gal said that he just had to call and ask to be transferred. But let's say that he did get the phone number for the chief of police. I mean, this is your best case scenario in a call flood, actually talking to the chief of police. What is he going to do? Is he going to take the word of you, some schmuck who probably doesn't even live in the city, who isn't at that location, who is just watching what's going on a video and doesn't understand the law? I know everybody thinks they do, but you probably don't. Is he going to take your word for what's going on, or is he going to rely on his officer's judgment? His officer who is there on the scene, has all the facts at his command, has a better grasp of the law than probably you do, or at least that's the assumption the police officer is or the police chief is going to make. Is he going to trust you or his officer? He's going to trust his officer. That's just what he's going to do. He's not there. He doesn't know if his officer is or is not following the law. So it's not going to do anything. And if the person who is being arrested is taken down and booked into jail, what is going to happen if you then call flood the police department? Absolutely nothing. At that point, whether or not that guy gets released is down to either whoever the prosecuting attorney is, who determines whether or not there is probable cause to bring an actual criminal suit again or criminal case against the arrestee, or it's up to the judge who's going to at the arraignment or at the bail hearing figure out whether or not you can be released on your own recognizance, or if you have to put up bail, or if you're even eligible. So it's not up to the police. You could call the police till your fingers explode from dialing, and you're not going to make a darn bit of difference. The police don't care. The police don't care. And I say that with no disrespect for the police, but the police don't care that you're calling them. Number one, the police on the street won't hear it. And number two, the people you get a hold of have no power. So when can a call flood work? Well, a call flood can obviously work against a private business. If a private business is harassing photographers and that private business is in the job of serving the public, then that private business may care that a bunch of people are calling and complaining. They may not, especially if they see it's just all out of state numbers and people being rude and aggressive, etc. People who had no intention of shopping with them in the first place. It may not change anything, but you are much more likely to succeed because they're not going to want bad PR. Now, obviously, private business aren't going to be the ones who are going to be arresting or detaining First Amendment auditors. But let's see who you could call. Now, if you call the mayor is an elected official. The mayor is going to care not just about what his constituents think now, but about potential negative press that may haunt him when he seeks re-election or election to a higher office. So a mayor is a good target for a call flood. I have never seen anybody call flood a mayor in response to an auditor being harassed by the police. So maybe you want to add that to your little bag of tricks. Who else could you call? Well, the town council. They, like the mayor, are elected officials. They, like the mayor, will care about not just the views of their constituents, but about potential negative press. That being said, it may not be effective because they are also going to want to know what's going on, and they won't be able to change the ongoing arrest or release someone from jail who's currently in jail. However, they may be able to make new ordinances, rules, etc., policies that will make the police behave in a different fashion. That is always a possibility. I think that's a noble goal. Who else could you possibly call? Well, sheriffs are elected officials. And again, if you do manage to get a hold of the sheriff, which is a long shot, he won't be able to effect an ongoing arrest or release somebody who has been booked into jail. He will, however, have the power to change policy, department policy, on how they enforce laws and how they do or don't interact with photographers. A sheriff would be a good person to call Flood. Now, in doing this, you have to remember that the sheriff is going to probably be able to tell if you're one of his constituents. He will value his constituents' opinions much higher than he would someone from an entirely different state. And you also probably want to be polite. I'm just saying this because I've been in customer service, and I've talked to people trying to get them, when they're in customer service, trying to get them to do what I need them to do. And you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. So back to the point of this video, call floods, at least as I have seen them, are an First Amendment auditing urban legend. They don't work. They will not get the auditor released or make the officers stop harassing them or stop arresting them or anything like that. They could be useful if used appropriately, targeting the right people, namely elected officials who have policy or statutory control over the methods the police use. That's it. Thanks for listening. If you liked it, leave a thumbs up. If you don't, leave a thumbs down. Tell me what you thought. Have a great day.